When Lisa Fraser first saw the Washington State University campus, her reaction was immediate. "I loved it. I thought it was beautiful," she said. In August of 1989, Fraser was named the first coach of WSU's NCAA soccer program. Fraser hit the ground running to establish the program, and after 5 years at the helm, she set a foundation of success that the program has continued to build upon ever since. A month after being named head coach, Fraser won her first match, a 4-1 victory over Whitworth. Ending the first season with a 10-6-1 mark, Fraser and the Cougs followed that season up with a 14-6 record in 1990, earning Fraser Northwest Collegiate Soccer Conference Coach of the Year honors. In addition, the team grade point average of 3.22 was the highest among all WSU sports. Milestones continued to follow for the program. The first win over a top 20 program with a triumph over Washington in 1991 and defeating number 6 Stanford in the 1993 home opener. The program's first win over a top 10 team, which propelled the Cougars to a then program best number 11 ranking early in the 1993 season. In all, Fraser led WSU to 5 straight winning seasons, compiling a 52-31-7 overall record. "I loved being a Cougar and the feeling of a family. It's a great family to be a part of," Fraser said. Tonight, Lisa Fraser comes back home to Pullman and the Washington State University family with her induction into the Washington State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
It's an honor to be here tonight and be inducted into such a great group of women. I'd like to thank you for that, and I'd like to thank all the women that have come before me. My women that have impacted me, there's not been a lot because I'm old. And I have to thank my mom. She was a single mom. My dad died when I was young. We came from a foreign country, and I was lucky she had an education. So I played soccer in college, and she knew nothing about the game. And she'd sit on the bench, because back then it wasn't such a big deal. And she would just clap, and she knew the ball needed to go that way or that way, and that's about all she knew. So that was nice. She could never tell me what I was doing wrong. And the other women, I have to say, I have 3 other women. It'd be Marcia Sainholtz, Pam Braditich, and Nancy Gray from Case Western was my first job. They were 3 women that believed in me, and I didn't have that much. When I first started coaching, well, before I started coaching, I got my license. 100 men and me. They didn't have a locker room for me. They had nowhere for me to change. So we had to work some things out. So I had a lot of steps along the way to get here. I give Marcia credit. I had only coached Division III before I came here, and she took the chance and hired me, and I truly appreciated that. Along the way, I think Marcia might have had some questions about that. So I'm going to share a few stories with you on this team. They're here tonight, and I will have them stand up at the end. So we come in, we're a brand new program. The first year we have a club team. A couple of players are here that stayed and played for us. The second year I had a recruiting class, and that's basically who's here tonight. But we had to raise a little extra money, so we were selling programs at the basketball games, and I was too. And nowadays you'd never see that. And you would never have seen a men's coach selling programs at a basketball game. But we did it. We needed to do that. It was important to us. The other thing we had a family, this group. We had meals at my house during preseason. I remember some of the moms coming in and we were making sandwiches for lunch, getting them to the field for us. My husband was cooking, great cook, was cooking great meals for the team in the evenings. And now the girls, the women, have a cafeteria to go to. They have a nutrition bar. They don't have to be cooking coaches don't have to be cooking their meals anymore. But it was part of our family, it was part of our group. We had family meals a few times a season, and all the kids would come over and we would have a family meal. The other thing we did, and a couple things with Marcia, we first started playing our TV games on the turf, and that was the football field. But we got it for 2 hours, twice a week. We walked out one day, we're starting to warm up, and the football coaches, a few of them and the track coaches are doing their workout on my time. So I walk over, and as Marcia told me I was not very politically correct, I said, "Get off my field. It's my 2 hours. You can't, if I wouldn't do this to you, get off my field." And yes, I got called in for that one. Marcia talked to me. So, that was the other thing. We then moved our TV games to the field, the soccer field, and my husband was out putting the scaffolding up for the games with some of the other grounds crew. That would not be happening now because we have people to do that for all of our sports. So, I appreciate that. But we were all part of it. We all did our work to help this program become successful. We need to still be vigilant. If you look back a couple years ago at the women's basketball final, you look at that facility they gave them for training at San Antonio. We can't forget. We need to remember, still need to be vigilant and make sure that our women get what they deserve. And that was one of the reasons, I want to share one more thing with you. I just remembered. We would go into the training room and get our, injuries taken care of, and the trainers came to me and said, "Your women have to wear their shirts in here." I said, "Well, then you tell the men to wear their shirts in here." And I told my team, "Don't wear your shirts in there. Until they make a rule that we all wear our shirts or we all don't wear our shirts, you stand up for yourselves." And they did. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but they did make a rule, one or the other, but they all had to do it. So, we needed to do that. And the reason this program is so successful is because of the women in the back that came tonight to support me. They chose to come here. They bought into the program. They set the bar in the weight room, they set the bar on the field, and they set the bar academically. They've all been extremely successful, and I'm not talking about financial. They just are successful human beings, and I truly appreciate that. We keep in touch in many different ways. They support each other. So ladies, please stand up. I'd like to give you a round of applause. I would like to mention, as Tammy did, female coaches have to have a partner that believes in what they do and support them. My husband moved here without a job. I was making $18,000 a year, not a lot, but he believed in what I was doing. So for 2 years, he worked and did some stuff, and then he became my assistant coach. And he cooked meals for the team, he supported me, he supported them. I'll share a story with you. One day, the women were in a crowd, and they were bitching about me, which you do about the head coach, right? And he walks over and he says, "Yeah, and I have to live with her." And the team just busted up, and it kind of broke the ice, And I couldn't have done it without him. He is no longer with us, but I need to thank him from the bottom of my heart, because without him, I couldn't have done this job. And lastly, I'd like to say, I'm so proud to say I coached at Washington State. This is an awesome place to be, so thank you very much.